Today we are going to see how to configure different types of node in IIB. There are many nodes in IIB, but we will see only that node which are used in our project. And first we will start with MQ input node. Yesterday Pratyasha I think already told about MQ input and MQ output node. In MQ input node, as you can see, it is asking for this queue name, and queue name we will be creating it in one application is there, MQ Explorer. As you can see, this one tab is there, queues. You can create a queue. Means queue is like a container which will whenever a message comes, it acts as a container and it will store the message. And we will create queue like something like ABC. I'm creating. Okay. Next. And finish. The object was already was created successfully. Now it got created, the queue. And now we can give here the same queue name, ABC. Whenever the message will come to that queue, suppose this is the queue, ABC. Here you can see current queue depth. It is 0. Whenever a message will come to this queue, it got increased to 1. It will got increased to 1. And my flow, then it will start consuming the message. The message will come to this node. Whenever ABC queue receives any message. After giving the queue name, there is a message in input parsing tab. There is a message domain. Here we need to select what type of message we will be receiving from this queue. It will be some XML kind of format, or it will be some blob. Means mostly we are in this project we are dealing with blob and XML NSE messages. So it you need to define it here. Means what type of messages you are expecting in this queue. If it is blob, you need to select here blob. And there is a message set, which we will look afterwards. Means in coming session, we will see that message set, how to define that message set, and then we can explain how to use that message set. These two properties mostly we need to define whenever we are using MQ input node. Similarly, for MQ output node, in MQ output node, similarly, we need to give a queue name here also.
Madhuri, I have a question here. Like, you're typing the queue name right here. What if we do browse MQ services? Will it go to that MQ Explorer? Like, are those linked, or we have to map it?
No, if it is linked, then you can see the queue name here if it is linked, but it is not. In local, it is not linked. I think that's why we are not able to see any of the queue.
And QA, you will be able to browse.
Queue manager, and this should then sync, then only we will be able to see. Similarly, we need to define a queue name here also, and we can give a queue name here. And all other properties will be by default, means we don't need to change any other property. Any doubt in this two node, MQ input and MQ output? Okay. Then can proceed further with next node.
We're explaining different types of node which we are using in EDIS, correct? Habits in EDIS.
Yes.
Okay. So MQ input is one node, MQ output is another node.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is a file input node. Here in input directory, we need to specify the path from which file input node will obtain the file. Like
can you let everyone know that this input node message queue and the file input?
Yes.
So like what kind of boards we will build based on these, like CDC and non-CDC, so that they understand.
Okay. MQ input node we are mostly using for CDC board. And CDC means MQ input node. And non-CDC means file input node. Whenever we are using file input node, in file input node, we need to specify a directory from which this file input node will pick up that file. Like I've created a structure, and I will copy this path, and I will mention it here in input directory. And whenever I will deploy this flow, means this file input node, and if I will place a file here in local subdirectory which I created just now, if I place file here, the file will get consumed, and it will come to means our IIB, means to our toolkit. And here you can see this file name or pattern. If means there is some specific requirement in the project, like it should it should start with A, and after that means you can accept any number of characters. It should start with ABC. Means suppose it should start with ABC, and after that it should accept any number of characters. Then we will give this pattern. Means ABC. The file should start with ABC, and asterisk means it means it will match all the file names. Means it will accept any sequence of characters. This is star. Any sequence of characters it will accept. If I will give only star, means in my pattern, file pattern name, if I will give only star, means it will accept all the files, means whichever I will place in that directory, in that location, it will accept all the files. If I will place only asterisk. And if there is requirement, the file name should be only of 4 characters. And it should start with A. And it should have only 4 characters. Then you should give pattern like this. A and 3 means total 4 characters, and A should be in the starting of the file, and it should accept means 3 characters should be anything, but it should have only 4 characters. Then we can give this as a pattern in our flow. And here action on successfully parsing means
Madhuri, one quick question. This file name
yes,
pattern, right? Yeah, file name
yes.
pattern. Do we have any like inbuilt help here so that like we can see all the patterns?
I mean, means asterisk it will give a tool means it will accept all
Yeah,
the files.
yeah, true. Like
Only
now,
we have
okay.
two asterisk and question mark. Question mark is for fixed length, means an asterisk for means we can accept all the files.
Okay, got it.
Okay, action on successful in parsing, processing. I will explain it later whenever I will deploy the flow, and then I will explain you this. This will become more clear. Similarly, message domain, you need to select what format means you are expecting in the file, or what is the format. It is XML or blob or MRM that you need to select.
Madhuri, 1 second, sorry.
Yes.
For us, all the time it's XML, right? Or is there anything else as well?
Blob, it is MRM, it is means blob, I think.
Okay. Okay.
And pooling interval means after how many seconds you want to means you want to search this location, means if any new file has means got placed here or not.
So 1 second, Madhuri. So Hitesh, so you got my question right. So like that input file pattern, right? The one which we're defining XML blob. So blob is what for which board it was, if you know?
Yeah, see, blob is more sort of type of dump data, so it don't have any structure. It is just a length of characters. So you can consider at times, we have mainframe files at times are sort of can be treated as blob. So blob is a sort of a generic thing which like dump data, qualifies for. At times as input file, we also treat JSON structure. Okay, the JSON file will be input just like we have XMLs, we have JSONs as well. We have file input like flat files coming from mainframes. So those are also input for us. So yeah, it is not always XML.
Okay, got it. Because like in full load, right? It was XML all the time. And when it was Delta, right, for bots, it was, I remember now, it was blob and DFDL and JSON. There were many other formats
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. Okay, now it makes sense. Okay. Because for full load, right, anyway, we were getting like there was some history anywhere else other than RDS, right? Or if we are getting history from Teradata, we were using data stage, and
Interesting.
then finally we were getting XML.
Yeah, got you. And in Orca project, mostly will be file inputs now. It will be
Yes,
mostly file inputs instead of MQs.
yes, correct. Yeah, go ahead, Madhuri.
Pooling interval means after how many seconds you want to search that location again, means if any new file got placed there or not. That is pooling interval.
Madhuri, Hitesh here. Just one question I have. So I got that we have a polling interval and we are monitoring a folder for files. So we do have MIM setup as well, which places a file at a FTP location. So what you are saying is IIB keep on monitoring that particular folder which is in our EDIS environment.
Yes, means some particular location, na, means
Okay. So like
we have FTP. Means it will pick up the file from some server, this FTP.
yep, got you.
And yes,
Yeah. So
in that
the only
time
thing.
interval, it will scan for that file.
Yeah, only thing I'm asking is with respect to EDIS, our project, do we have a single location where we put all the files, or it varies, or is there any specific server we are monitoring?
Yes, means some server it will be, but the location will vary, I think, for each file input node.
Yeah, location will vary for different bots.
Yes.
I saw that, Hitesh.
Okay.
And that's where like
And,
go ahead,
yes,
sorry.
yes.
Yeah, that's where like we give different path while and these folders, right? I remember Pratyasha that she explained. Either we can create these source folders, or these are Unix folders, actually Unix directories. We can create these directories manually, or we can create these through deployment.
Yes,
Correct, right?
yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
And for sure, Hitesh, they are different for different kind of bots.
Thanks. That clears my question.
And in this FTP means if we are picking up any file from any server, means different server, not from this local directory. This I created for just for understanding. This is my computer local directory. But if we are picking up file from some different server or location, then we need to enable this remote transfer, and we need to provide this server and port details. Means whatever the server and port name is there, we need to define, and we have to select if it is FTP or SFTP. Mostly means we are using SFTP, but it depends on project, what is the requirement.
So we are
This
using
is for
SFTP or FTP for our project?
For our project,
No, what we have used so far, Madhuri, was that FTP or SFTP?
I don't remember now, Atul, means what we
Okay.
use for. This FTP is for, means if the file is placed on some different location, means on some different system or different server. If we are using local, means if we are placing as local, we don't need to provide any details here, just uncheck here, and you don't need to provide any details here. I've already developed a small code for your understanding. Here we are using a file input node. As you can see, we are using a file input node, and for this I am using a local location. See, means in input directory I have given that.
So to summarize everyone, right? It's very simple. So what all we're doing is we're trying to grab a file. Okay, it could be a local folder or local directory, or it could be from any remote server. Okay, for that we are using file input. Okay, to grab that particular file right from that particular directory, we are just configuring that detail here in that directory properties. Okay, we are just giving the path. We are just mentioning the protocol we should use, whether it should be SFTP or FTP. Okay, and we are just giving the time interval, how frequently we should grab that file from that particular source location. Okay, do that, right, we need to have file input node. Okay, this is how IAB works. Okay, in a simple words. Okay, you just need to keep a file input there, configure all these directory configuration values. Okay, then the moment you will do it right and run it, that file will be grabbed and that will be sent to compute node. Compute node is nothing but where it's kind of like yesterday Pratyasha, right? There was some transformation happening. This is the place where, yes, this is the place, and this is again kind of subflow only. Okay, and this is the place where we write all our transformation logic. Okay, and that transformation logic will be written in the ESQL. Okay, once the transformation is completed, right, that will be sent to MQ output. Okay, again that MQ output, here the output is MQ. Okay, the input was file input. This is for known CDC boards. Okay, now we talk about CDC boards, right, where the input is not file. That will be in terms of rows and columns, meaning you will get, we'll talk about that just in the simple terms, remaining on the same concept. For the CDC board, you will have MQ input. Okay, where you will get input on MQ, and then the compute node will read that input and compute it, meaning transform it or enhance it, and then give it to MQ. Okay, after MQ, then we will put it on the Kafka topics and all those things, and then further internally we'll connect this with the audit subflows that we'll discuss in further details. Okay, so now Madhuri is all together. What she is doing, she has already created a like end-to-end flow to explain this file input and MQ output. She's going to grab a file and process it and going to put it on the MQ output.
Suppose this is our application. First, we will deploy this application to our EG. Which EG is nothing, just assembling of flows, message flow. This is a application demo test. Then assembling of this application, we call it as a EG. I deployed on this EG, that is Madhuri, and you can see this demo. It is green, means green symbol is coming, means it is up and running. If I will stop this, you can see this red symbol come. Means now it is stopped. It won't consume any message if I will place any file, if I place that file in that particular location.
For EG, right?
Now after,
yeah. For EG, yeah, I know the EG is not part of this session, so we'll talk about EG in separate section. So EG is nothing but execution group where this particular application has been deployed. Okay, so where Madhuri was trying to switch on and switch off, right, meaning start and stop. Okay, so if you stop it, right, then that particular application will not run, meaning that that message will not process. Okay, so we will have a separate session to explain EG, how that works. Okay, that will be maybe in the next few days. Okay, just I'm telling just so that everyone is aware of that.
as you can see, means now these three folders got created in that location. Means what location I provided after deployment, these three folders got created. It will got created by default. Means
yes.
In MQ, oh, my video got stopped.
These are the source folders which we configured, right? The one which we are doing the configuration, right? These are the source folder from where we are going to grab the file. Okay. Now, so I believe, Madhuri, correct me if I'm wrong. So it's better to create it manually, correct? So in that case, we will have all the access.
In dev, QA, and means in other environments, you need to create by it manually. Otherwise, you don't have access to these folders.
Yes. So the configuration which we did, right, there we mentioned the source folders. Okay, source directories. The moment you will deploy that particular code, right, these particular folders or source directory will create automatically. But in that case, right, in dev, QA, and production environment, you will not have access to those folders. Okay, meaning when your application will start trying to read any file from there, right, they will be denied. Okay, so to overcome this, right, what we did right last time and what we have to do in future as well, we need to create these folders or directories in that particular server manually. The moment you will create it your own, right, then you will have all the access meaning read, write, delete, whatever you want. Okay, but if it is created with the help of this deployment, right, then in that case the folder will be created but you will not have any access. Okay, now there will be a question coming up in everyone's mind, then if we are creating it our own, then if we are deploying it, will there be any clash or will there be any other folder created automatically with any other version? No, that will not be the case. If there is already a folder available there, or there is any already a directory available with the same name what we have given in the application, then it will not create any other folder with any other version. Okay, that what will be just skipped, and when we will run that application, right, then we will have all the access to read, delete, and archive. Okay, for that particular directory, because the moment you will read the file with the application, correct, you need to archive also that, so that you can put that it somewhere, and so that it's empty for the next file. Okay, so to do all these things, right, you need to have access to that particular directory. Okay, so it's always good, and that's how we are following. We need to create those particular directories manually, okay, before we deploy that particular bot.
Okay, and now this action on successful processing means this means what you want to do with that file after it got, means this flow got successfully completed. Whatever action you will choose, it will do the things as you select from these three options. Move the archive subdirectory. This archive subdirectory means this MQSI archive. It will move that file to this location. Or the second option is add timestamp and then move that to archive directory. Means it will add a timestamp to that file name and it will move to that MQSI archive directory, or delete that file. After successful completion, you can delete it. I will show you how we suppose this is our input. We have employee ID, we have that first name, second name, and address. This is our input. Okay, this is a file. Now what we will do, we will copy this file and we will place it to our location. This is our location. We will just copy paste. We will place that file.
Madhuri, can you open the file? Can you open the file data as well?
File data. This is.
No, that is your XML, I think. File. I'm saying file.
Means created for just for understanding.
Okay.
This is for like. Means after consuming, you can see this kind of thing. This means the file came to our IIB toolkit, and this is means the message is here now. That message, whatever we triggered, is here now. And in variable, you can see there are. This is a tree structure. Means broker will create a tree structure to understand the incoming format of the message. In message, you can see one XML NSC employee, whatever means the message I triggered, it came to here. ID, first name, second name, and address. Address you can see. This is a tree structure. The first will be message, local environment, environments, and exception list. Exception list will contain all the exception. Means if any exception got generated in the flow, then exception list will contain it.
Madhuri,
Now
I have a
to
question.
debug.
So,
Yes.
yeah, sorry, before you start debugging. So now the input was XML, correct?
Yes. Okay.
So now if we have a file which has which is not an XML, it's like just
Right.
notepad
Block.
file, text file,
There is a
text file.
simple text file. Text file,
Yeah,
yeah,
This is
column
text file.
separated file. Yeah, column separated file.
yeah,
So
column delimited, anything,
Yes.
comma, whatever. So in that case, right, I think flow will be different, right? Because now,
Yes, Atul. Means there will
okay,
be a message set and there will be a reset content descriptor node means to pass that message again.
okay,
This is for simple means understanding.
okay, makes sense. Okay,
Okay, means while debugging, this is resume. Means if I will click on this message will come directly to this node. Here it will come. And you can see one symbol means go inside. This is we can go inside it. Here it is. Step into the source. Means we are going inside that compute node. Okay. Since my application means my input is XML NSC. That's why I've used input root dot XML NSC. Means my input is XML NSC dot employment. In rest employee will point to employee tag, it will point. Okay. And this is step over means if I will click it, it will debug line by line. If I will click it, you can see that the cursor went to the next line. And now you can see this in rest in. You can see that variable in rest in. Now here you can see all the it is pointing to employee field. So it will contain all the value which employee is containing. ID, first name, second name, address. It is like a reference. We have created a reference till employee. Okay. And now if you want your output.
Madhuri, one quick question. If I'm getting
Yes.
the data into the file, then I can also use the business logic on that data of the file, like some employee ID like 123. I do not want to create that XML for that particular record. That condition I can use with the data. Some business logic I can use on the file data as well.
Means some data you don't want to process, you are saying?
Yes. On the conditional, I want to process my data.
Yes. Then we can do that.
And at the same time, I can get the data from the two file as well.
Two file at the same time?
Yes, based on the certain condition.
No, means this is.
so that Irfan, that Shahila and Pratyasha is working on that POC. Okay, we got a board where we have.
I'm just asking it is possible or not.
So that she's figuring
One
it
folder
out.
is there. If one MQ transition means if one file comes to that this MQ transition folder, it creates a lock folder. It creates a lock on that file. Means unless and until that file is processed, it will not consume the other file.
Okay. At a time, one file can be processed at a time, right?
Yes. Means so no
Only
other
one file
application
can be
or no
processed.
other server can change that file. it creates a log folder on that file and it will log that file until and unless it got processed.
Okay, got it.
This is how the existing board works. Okay, that is fine. So now correct me if I'm wrong, Pratyasha, Hitesh. Okay, that is what we're trying to figure it out, right? For new boards which we have to
Yes,
develop
yes,
for
yes,
Dorka.
yes,
Correct.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
So
we are figuring out a way to have
yeah,
two files simultaneously processed at the same time.
yes, yes, because we are getting details in header and details two different files. So
Right,
we are
right.
trying to see if we can merge while processing them. Okay.
Okay,
There is
and
that
now means
Yes, yes.
no, yeah, there is that pattern option. If we use that, we would be able to read multiple files. I mean, if I'm correct.
I'm not sure that is something Shaila, Madhuri, you guys. Okay.
It happens actually in data stage also. We had the option like if the file name is test and I give their TES and then question mark, then test at the same type of name, all the files it will fetch. I mean, I guess that's why pattern is there.
Okay, anyways, for the sake of wider audience, we can discuss this thing because it is too specific for about
yes.
or things.
Okay.
Okay, now you
Yeah.
can
Go.
see my cursor is here, and I want to create output in some different structure. It should means it should have XML NSC only, but the tag name should be employee detail. Okay, then this is the code create field output structure employee detail.
What
And
Shalabh was
again, I am
asking,
creating.
XML NSC. So can you little bit elaborate this one? We know that it's written
Okay,
.xml NSC. Yeah.
XML NSC means you can see that this is a XML format, the file. That's why means I used XML NSC. If it is a blob, if it is coming in blob, then you should be using blob.
Blob NSC.
No blob NSC. It should be just blob. Blob.blob, I think. For blob, we use two
Okay.
times blob. So like that, if it depends on the format of the file. If it is MRM, then you need to declare a MRM like this.
Madhuri, do we have anywhere these type of data types or these things which we can use, like any documentation or any IIB things online where we can get to know where what are different formats we can use?
Yes, it is there.
Okay, if you can just drop us a mail
Yes.
after the session. Okay.
Yes, okay.
I have a question here. Like when you just wrote XML, then we can see three different types of XML formats supported here, like XML, NS,
Yes,
XML, NSC, and XML.
there you need to, after dot, you need to place control space. Then it will give you a
No,
different type of.
that's not my question actually. My question is like, just you said like if the message format is a like blob structure, then we specify blob. If it's an XML, then you said like XML NSC is specified. Then what is the use of other two data structures? I mean XML, NS, and XML. Like when they will be used?
Means XML NSC, it is better in processing the message. Means it will consume less space. Here only you will
Like something like
see.
XML NSC will have some namespaces specification attached to it, or
No. Here
like
you can see namespace aware validation, low memory usage for XML NSC. For XML, this won't be the case. Means no namespace, no validation. That's why we use XML NSC. It's just an advanced version of XML.
And Madhuri, in our project, are we just using XML NSC? That's the only data type for XML we are using, or we are using others too?
I think XML NSC. Till now means in EDIS, previous project I saw only XML NSC.
Okay, so for our project purpose, we can consider XML and NC will be the only data format for XML we will be following. Okay.
Yes. Then, now in this line you can see I have declared another reference for output. It is pointing still output detail. Means, outref is pointing to output detail. Now I will again step over. Means it will debug line by line. And now means after debugging you can just check it got created or not. Yes, it got created. Outref. I created. You can see declare outref reference, and it got created. Now there are some means in IIB there are some functions we can perform on string. Like this is length. Trim. Trim will remove all the white spaces in the data. Like in ID, if I will give 2, 3 space and then I will give 1, 2, 3, 4, what trim will do? It will just remove this white space. It will remove the white space and it will only count 1, 2, 3, 4. It will just it will give that value.
Madhuri?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting. Before moving into ESQL function, can you just give a short brief on giving references? I think they'll be not aware, like how we create dynamic reference, and then I think we can move on to ESQL function. Thank you.
If there is some another tag inside this, this employee. See what these references do, it means cut the cost of traversing a tree. Means if you want to traverse like ID, first you need to come to this employee. Again you need to come to this employees. In tree you need to traverse to employee, and then you need then you can use this ID field. Okay, to cut the cost, means we can declare a reference. Till employee means input root dot XML NSC, this is common. Employee, and again we will carry dot employees. Okay, then what this in ref m do, it just refers to this block of memory. Whatever is inside this employee, it will refer to this. Means in ref employees we will get this data. Are you understanding? You are getting that thing, or?
Yeah, instead of traversing complete file, right? Like complete tree. So you are referring to a direct. You are referring to a direct. You are referring a direct path somewhere, correct? So that you can directly go to employee rather than. Yeah. I think this is fine. I think everyone got it. Yeah.
Otherwise, means every time you need to write whole code. Like here I have just used interest employee ID. Otherwise, you have to write whole code again and again. Means you need to do same thing again and again.
Yeah,
Like employee
we
dot
got your Madhuri.
ID.
It is an alias you created, and we will be using that alias rather than using the complete code. Yeah, we got you.
Okay. Then here is a length function. Length function, it will give the means if I put a condition if length is greater than 0, means if employee ID is greater than 0. Means if employee ID is populated, then only we are populating other values. Otherwise, we are not populating that. Means if employee ID is only empty, means how can we know who is the employee, what is the employee name? Means we can't figure out anything. That's why I put a condition. If length is greater than 0, then only we are populating this value.
Let me add something here. So this condition, right? This correct me if I'm wrong, Pratyasha, Sahil, everyone. So this condition we put to identify the mandatory fields, meaning like when we do the data mapping, right? What Hitesh and team do, so they identify which are mandatory and non-mandatory. Okay, and that is what we see in the mapping document as well. Okay, so the one which are mandatory, right, has to be there in the message, and that's what we are doing here. So if it's since in this case, right, employee ID was mandatory attribute. If employee ID is missing, right, the data which we are getting from source, then there is no point of populating other attributes. So that's where we are having this condition here. And if that particular employee ID is not there, then we will just skip that particular message and we'll go to the next one. So this is basically a mandatory field, and this is what you will see in the mapping document as well. Okay.
Yes.
Now on the same line, another question, Madhuri, is this the only way? Is this the only condition or like the checkpoint we are keeping to identify a mandatory field, or is there anything else as well?
Means if you don't want null, means this is for integer. For string,
Yes.
it will be different. Means we can check for empty string, null. These two conditions we need to check.
True. But is there any other logic as well? Definitely for this is for integer, which you are identifying greater than 0. For string, you might be looking for null.
Yes.
Okay. Got it then. So there is no other logic, right? So combining two field and checking something like that, like doing some math or something like that.
Atul, apart from mandatory fields, we also use for timestamp field, because in case if you're not checking the length and if we are not getting the expected format while casting, that will be an exception will be thrown, and the whole flow will be stopped because of that exception. So even apart from this mandatory field, we also do check for timestamp field, time, date, whatever it is. For that also we have to check length.
Okay then. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, then here you can see it is checking for interest data dot ID. In variable we can maybe. Here you can see interest dot ID. It is not means it is greater than 0. Length is greater than 0. It will process correctly and it will come inside the if condition. Here we can I've used a cast function. Means it will cast from one data type to another. Like the input is integer 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I cast it as a character ID, and I'm assigning it to output root. Okay. And in second line, this is substring function. Substring means if you want to, here you can see a substring. First name I have in ref employee first name from 1 for 5. Okay. This is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay. Substring first name 1. Means the first one for 5 I have given the value. So this are 1.
Basically, first to 5 characters it
This
will
is
take, right?
2. It will pick up the first 5 character, means it will pick up till F. This substring function from 1 for 5, and you can check it in this outref.name. Outref.name, you can see it picks up only that first 5 value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means 1 from 1 till 5. If I've given from 2 till 5, then it should have B, C, G, B, C, E, F, G. It should have that value. Means if I've given here as from 2, means 2 means it will start from second length. From 2, 4, 5 means till 5 character it should take from second length.
Madhuri, your screen is not moving. Is that for everyone?
Now actually,
No,
now
not
actually
for
you
me.
can
For others, is it moving?
No, it's not moving.
Well, no, well, not for me also.
Okay.
see, I'm sharing it again.
Yeah.
Should I share it again or? Okay.
One second. Let me share my so that it breaks the. Yeah, share it now.
Mm.
Madhuri, you are sharing?
Yes, I'm sharing Atul, but it is just connecting, it is moving.
Okay.
It is showing we had a problem sharing your content.
Okay, how much it is left on your side for today's session?
Half an hour, like.
Still more half an hour. Okay. Okay, we can spend like not a problem for 2 minutes, it's not a problem. We can spend another 20 minutes. So can you just try again sharing it, or do one thing, just drop off and share it again. Drop
Okay.
off and join again and then share. Or maybe Pratyasha or Shahila, if you guys want to pick it up from here, if you guys can share, and up to you guys. I think you want to explain that loop right after that, correct?
Then a simple function only, Atul, means not any loop.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's showing up now.
Now? Okay. Substring function you have seen. Now this is concatenation. Concatenation means joining first name and second name.
Madhuri is trying to explain which we are using very frequently. There are like thousands of like this, okay, when it comes to ESQL. So she's just trying to highlight the one which we use very frequently in our board, so that when you guys look into the code, right, it strikes into your mind, and it should not take much time for you guys to understand. Okay, I know it's like very self-explanatory for many fields, but she's still trying to go through the one which we are using very frequently in our boards to develop. Okay.
Okay, here you can see it got concatenated, first name and second name. These both fields got concatenated into one field. First name and now this comes collate function. Collate, what it will do, if this address field, if it is coming null, if it is empty or coming null, this address field, then this will replace the value with this empty string. If this address field is coming null or empty, then it will be replaced by this empty field. Here you can see this tag got created. If it is null or empty, if it is null, then this tag won't get created in output ref, because no value is there to assign to this field. That's why we have used collate. That's why it got created with an empty tag, this value. And now in the end, it will propagate to terminal out. In compute mode, you will see many terminal. This is out. Out is already connected. That's why it is coming at yellow. These fields are not been connected to any terminal. That's why we can use this to connect to other like MQ input or some Kafka producer node, anything. It came to this, and now it will go to MQ output field, and the flow will terminate here. It got terminated, the flow got terminated, and it reached successfully to the out queue. After this file input node, since compute node Pratyasha has already on you yesterday, means this is the compute node where we have done all the transformation. We have used all the functions, cast, substring, means this is compute node. And in compute node, you can see a data source. This data source name, I mean, if you want to interact with database, means if this IIB toolkit want to interact with database, then we need to define a DSN name. That is data source name. In DSN name is defined on server level. What we will provide in DSN name? In DSN name, we will provide the host name, port number, username, password. We provide all the details so that this IIB toolkit got it will get the connection. It will it will create a connection with database. And all the data source name we define here. And this is an application ODBC data source, where we define all the data source name. But since this is a local environment and we don't have administration right to create any DSN, that's why I'm not able to show you how to create this DSN name. Otherwise, it will be created by infra team. We just need to provide the details. Database means details, where you want to connect.
So there must be wondering that why we are trying to connect database suddenly now. Okay, though we are getting the like all the attributes, all the information either through file in case of non-CDC, or in case of CDC like XML or anything. Okay, in also you can have XML. Okay, so there are like for few boards, right? In case of non-CDC, we need to do some data enrichment. Okay, so we are getting data from files, that is fine, but we need to have some additional data along in that particular board. So that data we directly get it from the database. Okay, in addition to what we are getting from file. Okay, that's where this all these connections and the IIB toolkit which is trying to connect to DDB, this thing, right, database, that comes into picture. So data coming from file, one thing, and now at the same time we need to interact with DB also, database. Okay, we need to get some data from there as well to enrich the data what we are getting from the file. Okay, we'll combine all those data. That is something which will be there in the boards as per their particular board, and then we'll process it and then we'll send it to the output boards. Output. Okay, just to set the context why we are talking about database connection here. Okay, and that mostly happens in case of non-CDC boards. Okay, not in case of CDC boards. Okay, when I say non-CDC board, everyone can fit in their mind that will be the board for which we are getting file as an input. Okay, wherever we have input file as a node, right, then it means it's a non-CDC board. Okay, go ahead, Madhuri.
Okay. And this is Kafka producer node. Means what this Kafka producer node will do? It is used to publish an output message from a message flow to a specific topic on the Kafka server. Means while configuring this, we just need to provide the basic detail like topic name. It will be provided by the client. Means what topic name they want to use. Bootstrap server details. It will contain the host name and port name where they want to publish that topic. This will be also provided by the client only. These two things only we just need to configure in Kafka producer node. And in security, we just need to select, for this project, we just need to select SSL and TSL v1.2. Just we need to take care for this Kafka producer. Producer means topic name and Bootstrap server. These two values you need to fill. And another one is this is reset content descriptor node. Means suppose as the incoming message is blob, and later on the message flow you want to convert that blob message into some other format like XML, NSG, MRM, or some different format you want to convert that blob message. Then you can use that reset content descriptor. This reset content descriptor, it is associated with a message set. Means message set we will discuss in upcoming session. So I'm not going into this detail. Once you will know how to create that message set, then you will come to know how to use this reset content descriptor node. Means this is just used to change the parser. Means if your incoming message in blob, you want to pass in some different format, XML or XML NSC something, then you can use this reset content descriptor node. That's it from my side. Means anything you want to ask? Any questions?
So I'm good, Madhuri.
Okay. Anyone has any question, or we can wind up?
Yeah, so for good, so just to add on reset content descriptor, so we will have a separate session on non-CDC board where we will talk about reset content descriptor in detail. Okay, so how I believe we create message set in case of the notepad files or text files where we do not have any columns name right there. So the example which Madhuri has shown today, that was for the XML. Okay, there we have all the attributes name already there. Okay, when it comes to a text file, right, where we don't have, for example, now the file which Madhuri was showing, where it was employee name was there, all attributes were written, right? Now there could be files where you will have just raw data. Okay, there will be no any column name or anything. There we will get a document from data mappers with the help of which we're gonna create a message set for the compute node. Okay, that's where this that descriptor content descriptor will come into picture. That we'll discuss in detail, and uh, and I believe the other associates, right, the one which are other than trainees, we had already discussed that in detail in the previous sections. Okay, they must be knowing it very well. Okay, but for others, right, we will have a separate session and there we'll discuss this in detail. Okay, so no need to worry about that. But for now, you just have it in your mind that there is something called descriptor. Okay, message content descriptor, which uh, which we have to discuss in further, and where we have to intercept any data where we do not have any columns and anything. Okay, column names, I mean to say. Okay, so that's all I got. Madhur, is there anything else?
No, for now.
Okay, before we drop off, Shalab and Kamal, so quick update for your system. Uh, so, uh, so Vikrant has sent an email to HR for your approval. Okay, so there will be a link. Okay, there will be a declaration link which will be generated in your Ultimatix. Okay, that will generate anytime after 2 o'clock, and that will be there till 4:30. Okay, that will be there whole day after 4:30 as well, since you guys are coming tomorrow to pick up the system, right? Okay, so you guys need to accept that before 5 o'clock at any cost. Okay, so you will see that declaration link anytime after 2 o'clock. So you guys need to watch your email and you need to go to Ultimatix. So there could be chances you might not get email, but you will have that link there in Ultimatix. Okay, do not rely on email alone. Okay, sometime email will not come in the inbox, and but the declaration will be there in the Ultimatix. Okay, so anytime after 2 o'clock, you will get that declaration form. Okay, that declaration form will ask couple of information that you guys need to submit and accept it. Once that is done, right, then only you guys, then it will go again to HR. That will be approved. Then only you guys will be able to pick up the system tomorrow from Noida 5. Okay, otherwise you will not be allowed enter. You will not be allowed to enter office premises. Okay, make sure that you guys are keep checking your Ultimatics and email every 15 minutes after 2 o'clock. If you guys do not get that link generated at 4:15 or 4:20, just give me a call personally. Okay, do not text, do not email, do not rely on that. Give me a call. I'll follow with Vikrant and HR and see where it is. Okay, that if you guys were not able to do it right, you guys will not be able to travel. You guys can travel, but you guys will not be able to pick it up. Okay, so make sure that Shalab and Komal. Okay, very very important for you. Okay, so make sure that you guys are doing
So,
it.
Okay.
this declaration form is in GSS section, right? In my profile,
I'm going to send
like
an
my
email.
request list.
I'm going to send an email to
Okay,
you guys. Okay, just to text me your Shalab, text me. I have your email ID. That is fine. I will forward an email which will have path. Okay.
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 Thank
Another.
you.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that. And another thing, right? Do we have anyone from testing team in the session?